How's it going, guys? It's Najam. Welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to review my new mechanical keyboard. So this is the MK082 by KOORUI. There's the company logo down there. So this is on Amazon, so I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go pick it up. This is a wireless keyboard. It has 3 different modes and it's an 80% keyboard. It has 82 keys. I've gone with the brown switches over here, so they, unlike the blue switches, these are more quiet. So briefly just going over the specifications, this has 82 keys. It has Bluetooth mode as well as a receiver mode as well as a USB connection mode, and it has a volume dial at the corner, which is one of the reasons I actually went for this. The battery inside this is 4000 milliamp hours and it should last you about 2 weeks of your normal usage. The price on Amazon is £56, and in my opinion I think it should be more like £50, but you can't really complain because it has tons of features. The design is very stylish in my opinion. It looks pretty nice. It's got a very sharp edges, not everywhere, but it's pretty nice. You can see the volume dial at the corner. It's got a textured surface, so it's very grippy. There's the USB Type-C charging port, and you can also use that for a wired connection. If you look on the back of the keyboard, you have the receiver, which is magnetically held in place, and the receiver also has the logo on there. You have the rubber feet as well as the kickstands, and just like with the K86, which I recently looked at, you can see that it has a window mode as well as Mac mode, and you also have the different options to connect to devices. I've been using it in the receiver mode and with my laptop as well as with my desktop and also with my smartphone. Well, actually with my smartphone I've been using it with the Bluetooth mode. Now the lights are not going to come on unless it receives a connection. So if I go ahead and plug this in somewhere, then it will. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and connect it into Bluetooth mode, and we put it in Bluetooth mode and we'll connect it to the smartphone, and it has 3 Bluetooth devices. I'll go ahead and turn Bluetooth on my phone, and it's connected. So I want to talk about the keys. You have an 80% keyboard. Now I didn't go for a 60% keyboard because I actually use the arrow keys quite often, and I've seen some 60% keyboards with the arrow keys just shoved in the corner, which is fine, which is just very nice. But they're on a function layer, and I actually use them quite a bit, so I just went for this one. The other thing I use are actually the function keys right on the top. So I would like a 60% keyboard, but I've used them in the past and they've just been quite a bit of a hindrance and just slow me down quite a bit when I'm renaming files, organizing, when I'm selecting files, and also other things. They just slow me down. Now when it comes to the usability of this keyboard, the only thing that I've noticed that bugs me a little bit is, and it's because I'm used to the delete key being at the corner from a 75% keyboard. This has the volume dial at the corner. Now let's talk about the build quality. This is made completely out of plastic. The sides over here, the housing, all of it is made. All of this is made out of plastic, as well as the back. That's all made out of plastic. But it feels firm and it's really well built. It's just made out of plastic. And also the keys, these are PBT keys. I believe they have a nice texture to them, and the quality wise they're pretty nice, so I don't really have any complaints about this. But what I also like about this is because it's made of plastic, it's actually very light compared to other keyboards. Now let's talk about the features of this keyboard. One of the things that I haven't found anybody mentioning about this, and there's not much information on it, is that this has hot swappable mechanical switches. You can get this in red switches, brown switches, and as well as blue switches, and I went for the brown ones. But you can actually take out the keys and take the switches off. The RGB lighting is still going to be there. It's a 3-pin switch. I'm not going to show you in this video because I just can't be asked taking it off. But I will actually make a future coming video where I change the keycaps into pudding keycaps to see how that goes, because the RGB is actually one of the reasons I upgraded from the previous keyboard, which only had one color. Speaking of RGB, let's go ahead and show you the differences, the different modes and everything. You've got this here, you got the function button, and the X button turns off the backlight and it turns them back on. So that's very cool. You can, if you're going to watch a movie, just turn it off instead of turning the brightness all the way down. Now speaking of brightness, you hold the FN key and press up and down, and it indicates when you're at the maximum setting, and I think it has about 5 levels, and when you're at the lowest setting as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's pretend there's a 5th one. The other thing is you can change the speed of the lighting effects with the plus and the minus key, so you can change it to being really fast. You can see it's doing a disco now, and you can slow it down as well, and that looks pretty nice. Actually, I'll keep it slow. Also, you do have loads and loads of function keys for volume up and down. These are unnecessary because it does have volume dial. This dial clicks in as well, but it doesn't register anything even on the Android device, but it does change the volume up and down, and also the other function keys. And as far as the RGB lighting goes, you do have this button here which cycles through the different modes. So you've got loads of different RGB modes. I'll go ahead and turn the speed up so it looks a lot more interesting. You can see the different RGB lighting effects, turn the brightness all the way up. RGB different effects and all that, it's honestly, it's just really good. And you can change the color. You got different effects and modes. Now in terms of connectivity, it does have 3 Bluetooth layers, so you can connect to 3 different devices and switch between them without having to disconnect. And you do have the receiver mode. So I've got it in Bluetooth mode right now and it's working amazing. You can use this as a portable keyboard, but I would recommend more getting a 60% keyboard rather than this one. Now let's go ahead and do a quick typing test. So these are the brown switches. The space-wise is very well stabilized. You can go through the emoticons. And just a few other things I want to mention. The font on it is very nice. I do like the font, and it does have the page up and down and the home and the end keys at the side. I do have some function as well, so instead of having a 10 keyless keyboard, they've just pushed everything to the side, and they've made it more compact. Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about what I like about this keyboard and what I dislike about this keyboard. Now, first of all, I love the RGB, and it's one of the reasons I got this. The RGB lighting is very nice. It's very bright and nice as well. Some of the keyboards do have very dim lighting. This one is very nice. I like the volume dial. I'm not interested in programming this or getting into that because I do use it only as a volume dial. So that is very nice. I also like the design on this as well. It's a very nice looking keyboard. It's very handsome. Another thing I do like is the connectivity. This has 3 modes and you can use it wired as well. And I just use the USB to charge it, but yeah, it's pretty nice. And lastly, I do like the feel of the keycaps and the way I feel typing on this. The keys are actually angled at a certain degrees and everything to make it more comfortable. But that's pretty standard stuff on these keyboards. Now there is one thing I don't like about this, but I can't really complain about it because the price tag is pretty low for a keyboard with this amount of features. They had to cut back some corners, and the only thing I don't like is the materials used on this keyboard. This is made out of plastic, and I do think that makes a big difference in the way that this feels. It does feel like a cheap keyboard, but it is very solid and very well built. So that is just a minor drawback in my opinion, and that is personal preference. So to conclude, this is an excellent keyboard. I've got nothing to complain about. I'm going to be using this for a very long time, hopefully, and I've actually got some keycaps which I'm going to replace. See how that goes. I will miss the function layers because you can't get priority keycaps unless you get them custom made, and they'll probably cost quite a fortune. But yeah, if you have any questions about this keyboard, ask me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video.